We harpists want our thumbs to be beautiful and strong. Our thumbs were built to be strong. You know, there are 9 skeletal muscles that help the thumb work. 9 muscles for one little thumb. That's pretty impressive. And that gives us, or should give us, the ability to do everything we need to do with our thumbs, whether we're hitching a ride or just twiddling them or playing the harp. But those muscles need room to work. So, like every other muscle in your body, working the muscle is what's going to make it strong. And so much of the time, I see harpists who are worried that their thumbs aren't strong enough, not giving their muscles the chance to do the jobs that they were designed for. They're playing with their thumbs scrunched right up against their hand. There's no room for their thumb to move. And if their thumb can't move, they're not using the muscles that are there. Now let's compare this to what we already know and do with our fingers, right? We know that our fingers get the best sound when we move them fully and close them into our hand. We don't just play with the top knuckle or the middle knuckle, but we use all the joints of our finger and close from the back of our finger where it joins our hand, so that we have the biggest finger motion, which allows us to be relaxed and therefore allows our sound to be rich and beautiful and relaxed as well. The motion itself helps to create the relaxation, and that's where our sound comes from. It's basic physics when you think about, you know, the lever and all that kind of thing, right? It's the finger motion, the using your biggest lever to get your sound with the least effort. So why do we keep our thumbs scrunched up against our hand? Well, the simple answer is we shouldn't. Now, different methods of harp playing talk about this in different ways. The Salzedo tradition that I grew up in always talks about thumb up, meaning that Salzedo taught that your thumb should be vertical. And this created a space between your thumb and your second finger. But whatever harp method you use, or if you don't use any particular method at all, you still need space for your thumb to move. That's where it's going to get its best sound for the least effort. It's going to make it relaxed. It's going to sound more like your other fingers when you want it to. It's going to be able to blend because it's producing the sound more or less the same way. So what does this space look like? What does it mean? Well, let me describe it to you. If you were to take one hand and put your fingers together, maybe, pretend that you were taking an oath in court, right? And put your hands straight up with your fingers straight together. Then have your other hand in playing position. You could even put it on the harp for a second, but it's going to look like you were playing a 4-finger chord. You're going to take that and take your 4 fingers of your other hand, you're taking the oath hand, and you should be able to fit all 4 fingers between your thumb and the middle knuckle of your second finger, which is where your thumb should close. Now, depending on your own particular anatomy, you may not be able to fit all 4 fingers. You may only be able to fit 3. Your thumb might be short, or your fingers might be fat. Everybody's a little bit different. So if the measurement doesn't come out exactly right, that's okay. But it shouldn't be scrunched up. You shouldn't have 1 finger width. Right? If your thumb is going to move and it's going to close over to that middle knuckle of your second finger, which is what we want, it needs room to do it. And if there's only 1 finger width there, your thumb doesn't have enough room to move. 2 fingers, not really. 3 fingers, now your thumb can move. 4 fingers, even a little bit better if your thumb is that long. But you want that much space to be able to move. This will allow for the motion that will create relaxation in your thumb. You won't have to work so hard with your thumb to get a big sound. It's going to sound more like your other fingers when you want it to in a scale or an arpeggio. It's going to keep your hand balanced so that all your other fingers have room to work as well. And it's just going to create more relaxation in your hand completely. And that's where your sound comes from. So the first ingredient in a beautiful thumb is give it room to move.